mean to me. This is a really tiny finger. Is this supposed to like be hidden piggy bank? Like no one's supposed to know? Because if it is, it's really terribly chopped. It's pretty obvious.
I forgot we're live already. We're live on YouTube.
Doesn't actually your dog want it?
Alright, so I'm just gonna
Wait, we have to put the chickens in?
Let's go 12 again.
Yeah.
Take your time.
I was
Okay.
early.
Huh?
I was early. Oh, no, wait, talk to me. It's still 12 o'clock. You're the one now.
That's
No.
late.
It's 12 o'clock?
Alright, so today's stretch and strength, we're going to use either yoga bands or the strap. So if you have a strap, grab a strap. If you have something you can improvise with, you'll be able to do it without it, but it's handy to have just for fun. So we're gonna start on our feet today. So just start landing on your feet. So feel your feet, tap the base of your feet. Really start to feel your feet.
Why is it so small?
I don't know. I tried to figure that out, but it's not behaving today. Start to feel your feet. Really tap it out. Land on the left foot and really feel the right foot. So move the weight around on the ball of the foot. Feel the heel of the foot. Just starting to warm up the foot. And then take circles with the weight around the foot. Start to place some more weight on there and start to feel the leg a little. And then the same thing with the left foot. So pressing down, just starting to feel every single part of the foot. Waking up the foot, spreading the toes. Go the other way. And then land in your mountain pose. So 2 feet about hip width apart. Find your base. Feel the ground. Lift up from the ground, from your arches. Get nice and tall and bring your hands to prayer and perhaps even close your eyes. Starting to land on your feet. Find your breath. If your eyes are closed, see if you can tune into all the little micro adjustments that happen in your body when you stand on your own 2 feet. Was that the power flashing? We may have a power outage today, but we're going to keep trying.
I have my eyes closed. I have no idea what happened.
I felt like a flash of light. My eyes were closed too. So starting to really land in the room. Land on your feet. See if you can soften your shoulders a little more. Check in on your low back. Check in on your glutes. Are your glutes gripping? Are your feet gripping? Is your face gripping? Pick up your toes, spread them nice and wide and place them slowly back down. And then we're just going to begin to move and breathe. So floating the eyes open. We're going to inhale, arms up overhead. Connect our prayer. Exhale, bring them down to our heart. Inhale up.
I'm just waiting for the power.
Exhale down. So it's stormy today. We may lose power. If
We
you
lose
lose us
power
suddenly,
every
I'm
time
sorry.
there's a little bit of rain. If we don't, it's a miracle.
Breathing in, connecting our prayer, bringing it down to our hearts, nice and slow, connecting with our breath. And then starting to build on this, lifting up to the balls of our feet and slowly lowering down to a half chair. Engaging the whole body nice and slow. Take your center of gravity down in front of your hips and try not to lock out the knees when you come to the balls of your feet.
It's actually a good background nature music.
It is beautiful sound.
It's really pretty. You can hear the rain smacking against the side of the building.
And then see if you can come to the balls of your feet. Hold your prayer overhead. Hold. Bring your prayer down to your heart. Don't lower the feet. Hold. And then we're going to lower the heels slow and lift. So really warming up the feet. Lower and lift. Warm up the legs. See if you can start to sink the hips a little lower, bending the knees a little more. Nice and slow. Still following your breath. If you lose your balance, bring your arms out in front. Can help stabilize you. Start to engage the outsides of the legs. And then bring it down and hold. So hold here, and then we're going to start to open and close. Nice and slow. Inhale as you open. Exhale as you squeeze close. All muscles engaged. Not just flapping our legs around. Nice and strong. And then slowly lower the heels, bring the arms back down. Roll the shoulders one at a time, nice and slow back. Inhale, arms out. This time we're going to pull the elbows behind us as we exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale, draw the elbows behind us. Starting to warm up the shoulders. Use the shoulders. Notice compensation patterns in the low back. Maybe bend into the knees and engage the stomach and legs a little more, making sure the low back is not doing all the work here. And then bring the elbows down. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze them closed. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze closed. Still watching for those compensation patterns in the low back. Use the arms and shoulders and use your muscles. Find your muscles. And then bring it down back to mountain pose. Connect with your mountain. Connect with your breath. And then we're going to move and breathe a little bit more. So inhale up, exhale, swan dive down. Fold, hold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, down. Step or jump back. Plank, hold. Breathe and hold. Down dog. Inhale, forward. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, forward. Exhale, down dog. Just starting to have an experience. Go nice and slow. You can lower the knees. And then hold a down dog shape and start to warm up your down dog shape, moving left to right, opening up side body, bending the knees, whatever feels like what you need today. Hold a down dog and find that nice, slow, steady breath. Turning your world upside down. What do you need to let go of? Maybe shake the head a little, soften the neck. Look towards the hands, bend the knees, and hop, float, or take little tiny steps forward. Huh?
I landed lighter that time.
Land light. Bend the knees until your torso can find your thighs. Hold here. Press the fingers into the ground. So lift up onto the fingertips, press the fingers into the ground. Little bit of strength in the fingers, warming up the hands. Take the tension out of the neck. And then bend the knees. Inhale deeply, arms overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart. Inhale up. Exhale, swan dive it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, place the hands, step or jump back. Plank pose, hold. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, forward. Inhale, forward, exhale, back. Find a down dog, hold. Bend the knees, look towards the hands, jump or step forward. Land in a forward fold. Take the tension out of the head. Bend the knees deeply. Inhale, rise all the way up, lifting from the arches. Exhale, prayer to heart, hold in mountain. Take a little tiny step back with the left leg. So both legs are pretty close, about a foot apart. We're going to start to warm up the legs, bringing our weight onto the balls of our feet. Lift our heels and then lower. Lift. Inhale as you lift, exhale as you lower. If you'd like to bring your arms into play, you're going to inhale, lift arms up. Exhale, sweep them back. Lift up the heels, even if it's just a teeny bit off the ground. Bend the knees, sink the hips, hold. And then lift and lower the hips. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Tiny movement. And then bring the heels down. Step the left foot forward, right foot back. Get set up. And then we're going to inhale, lift the heels, exhale, lower. And again, you can keep the arms out if you just want to work the legs. Trying to find all the muscles in the legs. So the difference between yoga and a gym workout is we're trying to find which muscles stabilize us. We're trying to connect that mind-body connection as we lift and lower. Slow as you can. Slower you can, the harder it is. If you're just flipping around, it's much easier. Find those muscles. And then lift, hold, bend the knees and hold. And then inhale, lift the hips, exhale, lower. And then lower the heels, step the right foot forward. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart. Hold mountain pose. Check in on your holding patterns. Check in on your glutes, your lower back. Feel your feet on the ground. Find your breath. Grab a hold of your strap. Take the buckle side of it in underneath the ball of the right foot. You're going to step the left foot back and you're going into triangle legs.
It took me what we did
Huh?
a while because I couldn't figure out.
Stretch the band loosely into the left arm, nice and long. Set up your triangle feet first. So you're going to set up, take it behind you so you can see. Set up your legs so that you can feel strength in your legs first. So really strong, not locking this front knee. You're lifting up from the arch of the right foot all the way into the hip, and then lifting up from the arch of the left all the way into the hip. Pull the straps, start to get longer. So you're really lifting tall in these legs, the triangle pose. Take the right arm out, even with the shoulder. Now you're going to start to bring the torso over towards the right foot while still holding strong with the left arm. So stretching, lengthening out of the ground, as well as leaning. So now the torso should be engaged to keep the body up. If you like, you can reach the right arm down and grip. So you're going to grip the band, pull.
Holding in the back is making me use my back.
Use your stomach more. So grip. So now you have the sensation of opposites. You're really pulling the torso up out of the ground with the left hand, and you're drawing yourself slowly towards the ground with the right. Strong torso. Breathe. And then slowly lift the torso back up, unwind. Let the strap go for a moment. Find your triangle legs nice and tall. This time take a floating triangle. So you're going to push this right hand away and lean and see how it feels different. And then sweep the right hand up and over, reverse your triangle. And then bring that right leg bent, weight forward, step forward. Tap it out and notice left and right legs. You're going to land on mountain pose with your feet. Land on the left leg. Bring the right leg up, forward. Turn the heel in. And then you're gonna lift the leg. So inhale as you lift, exhale as you lower. Bring your hands out for counterbalance. You can bring your hands to your hips. Find the inner thigh. Bring that down, tap out the feet. Notice left and right sides. And then we'll set up for the other side. So wrapping the strap in underneath the left foot. Ball of the left foot. Stepping wide, finding triangle feet. So setting your base nice and strong first, holding the strap in the right arm. So loose it first, find your base. Really strong in your base. Then start to pull the strap strong from the foot to the right arm. Really get long. Push that right arm up. Get really long. Then take the torso over a little. Not far. Engage the stomach. If you like, you can reach for the strap with the left hand. So pulling down and pushing up. Pulling down with the left, pushing up with the right. Get strong in the torso. Breathe. This doesn't feel like work. You're not trying hard enough.
It didn't work. Jeez.
And then let it go. Let the strap go. Keeping that nice strong base. Find a floating triangle. Left arm forward. Really engaging in front torso. Right in between the rib cage and the hip. Float your triangle. See how it feels different. And then sweep the left arm back. Reverse your triangle. Bend into the left leg. Bring the right leg forward. Tap it out. Notice left and right sides. Maybe they feel the same, maybe they don't. And then landing in your mountain pose. Weight onto the right leg. Left leg forward. Turn the heel in. Engage the inner thigh. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower.
Kind of sounds like it's calming down a bit.
Who knows? And then bring that down and tap it out. Feel the feet. Take the right toes, curl them under, land them on the ground, and then pull like you're trying to pull the foot towards you. You should fire up the front of the leg. Maybe tilt the pelvis a little, feel the front of the hip. And then switch sides, right leg down, left toes under. We're waiting for the storm to knock out the power. It sounds crazy out there.
Yeah.
And then bring it back to mountain and return to the breath. Inhale up, exhale prayer to heart. Inhale up, exhale prayer to heart. One more time. This time, inhale up, swan dive it down. Touch the ground. Find your torso on your legs, knees bent deeply. And let your head hang. Maybe shake out the tension slowly in the neck. What can you let go of? And then planting the hands, step the right foot back, left foot back, high plank, breathe and hold. Lower the knees, lower all the way down to crocodile. One hand on top of the other, forehead down, shimmy the hips, breathe, let go. Engage in front of the hips just a little bit. Maybe feel like you're just slightly trying to pull the pelvis towards the belly button. Little slight engagement. And then pick the feet up off the ground, leaving the knees down. Pick the feet up just to engage the legs. Turn the feet out to the outside. Hold here. Notice any compensations patterns in the low back. So you really should be using just the lower legs more than anything else. The glutes and the upper legs are active too. We're going to hold here. This should feel like work. We're going to take the feet out just a little bit and in. Out and in. Small engaged movement. Lower the feet. Shimmy the hips. Loosen and soften. And then full body back engagement, moving and breathing. So bringing our shoulders up as we inhale and exhale as we lower. Really focusing on lifting the shoulders, not the skull. Trying to use all of the muscles in the back line evenly. So notice if you're using your glutes more than everything else or lower back more, trying to find even use. And if you like, you can build upon this and start to lift the arms and the feet. Inhale as you lift, exhale as you lower. Try to imagine getting longer from the crown of the head to the heels, as if somebody pulled a string from both your feet and your crown of your head, made you longer, making more space for your vertebrae every time you lift. Lift to where you can hold comfortably with strength and breathe. We're going to take little tiny movements. So if the hands are down, you're just going to turn just a little bit. If the hands are up, you're going to take elbow towards hip. Small movement, back to center, elbow towards hip. Bring it back to crocodile. Shimmy the hips and let go. Really soften that back. Soften all of the muscles in the back and the neck. Find your breath. And then finding the hands in under the shoulders, tuck the toes, lift the pelvis up off the ground, and then as if you're being pulled by your tailbone, press into the hands and lift up nice and slow to a knee plank. Hold. And then send it back to a down dog. Just as you need, find your down dog. And have an internal experience in your down dog. Find where your hands are comfortable, where your wrists are comfortable, where you can lift the hips up out of the ground. Connect with your head below your heart and take the tension out of the neck. We're going to move into a strength pose here, strength builder. So options, we're going to lift the right leg. You're going to either just bring the right leg in towards, knee in towards the wrist, and then leg up. Or if you want to build up on this, we're going to have a little tiny hop. So hop the leg up like we're going to a handstand and then bring the knee in. Hop, land light, knee in. Hop, land light, knee in. Nice and strong, working the arms, working towards your handstand. Maybe you get a little air time. And then land in a three-legged dog. Take a giant circle with this right leg, nice and slow. And land the right leg. Find your down dog. Find your breath. Lift the left leg and either bringing knee to elbow nice and slow or finding your hop. Lift, hop, land light, knee in. Land light, knee in. Gotta use the core to make sure you land light. Engage in the stomach. Pull the stomach tight towards the spine. Maybe you find some air time.
Maybe you put a footprint on the mirror.
And then take it back to three-legged dog. Take a giant circle with the left leg. Lower the left leg. Lower the knees. Find a child's pose. Release and let go. Find your breath. Place the forearms down on the ground. Start to engage the forearms. So feel like you're pulling the elbows apart. Really engage the arms and shoulders. Maybe send the knees back a little bit. Starting to really engage the shoulders, pulling the elbows apart. Lift the chest up out of the ground, hollow out. Pull the chest towards the spine. Breathe. Take the tension out of the neck. Bring the shoulders a little bit closer towards the hands, nice and slow. Hold. Bring the shoulders back a little bit closer towards the hips and hold. Still staying engaged. Engage the stomach. Lift the right hand. Bring it down. Lift the left hand. Bring it down. Engage the shoulders a little more. Lift the shoulders up out of the ground. Pull the chest a little more up out of the ground. And then come on up to tabletop. Set up in your tabletop. Turn the right hand towards the knee and bring the right hand back towards the knee. Press it down into the ground. And then take a little shuffle of the weight onto this right hand and then back. Slow, building strength of your hand in a different position. So once you land the weight onto this right hand, don't lean into it and crush into it. Lift up with your strength. Find the muscles, pull up, engage the shoulder and the arm. Starting to take weight on this wrist. And then switch sides. Left hand fingertips towards the knee, close to the knee, and then starting to take weight left and right. And then maybe you can bring both fingertips pointing towards you a little bit further away from the knees. Starting to land slow. Bending the elbows, maybe bringing them in towards you. Nice and slow, taking the weight slowly and carefully. Building strength. And then bring them back around to tabletop. Tuck the toes, down dog. Lift up out of the ground. Breathe. Lift the right leg, three-legged dog, and either hop and play, or just lift and lower, float, lift, and then bring the right foot behind the right wrist. Land in your little lunge. You're not already falling over. If you have blocks, you can land on your blocks. You're going to move and breathe here. Inhale, bent knee, exhale towards a straight leg on the ring. Both legs engaged. And then bending the back knee deeply, send the right leg towards straight. If you have your blocks, you can lean on your blocks, get your torso up. If not, you can try and float. If you have to, you can hold the ground. Find where you feel engaged in the right leg. So we're stretching, but we're still engaged. We're pressing the foot into the ground and pulling up from the arch. It should feel like you're pulling up all the way to the hip. Get the torso a little longer and the knee a little deeper in the back. And then maybe lift the toes on the right foot. That one's crazy. Land on the right foot. If you have the blocks, you're going to move them a little bit further forward. Try not to have too much weight in there. Use the strength of your legs. Land on this right leg. Strong left leg. Bring the weight forward. Maybe pop up the left leg. Nice and slow. Lower. And then back to straight. Come forward. Lift. Get long in the torso. Lower. Lift. Maybe even fly up. Come down. Lift. Maybe even lift the torso. And come down.
That was flickering, right?
Yes, it was flickering. We may lose power, guys.
We haven't lost the stream yet, which I was surprised about. So maybe. Looks hopeful.
Who knows? Who knows? All right, lower the back knee, untuck the toes. Sweep the foot forward, edge the right foot forward, and lift up. So engaged in the front hips. If you need to adjust the back knee or put something underneath it, lift up, press into the back foot, lift up, and see if you can come less on the kneecap. Lean forward. Engage. So now feel like you're pushing into the right foot rather than sinking into the hip. Push into the right foot. Pull back and curl this left leg under. Press into the front of the left foot. And then come forward, tuck the toes, and lift up. Find the ground, press into the ground. Right leg meets left. And then back to down dog. Find your breath. And then wipe sweat.
It's
Really hot. It's really hot in here. And then three-legged dog, either just lifting and lowering or playing with your hop. So lift and hop. Nice and strong, core engaged. Not worrying about how you get the leg or if you end up in handstand. But just lifting and hopping.
This is a really good handstand. I'm really proud.
Little teacher for getting smart. And then bring the left leg towards the left wrist. Low lunge. Find your blocks if you have them. Inhale, bent knee. Exhale towards straight.
I bent my back leg when you said it. You said inhale, bent knee, and I went like that.
Oh. Inhale, bent left leg. Exhale towards straight. Finding your own internal experience. And then if you have the blocks, land the weight on the left leg. Lift up all the way to the hip. Bend the back knee. Find the place where you're opening up the back of the leg. Lift the torso. Maybe bend the knee a little more in the back. Really pull like you're trying to pull the left heel towards the right knee. Activate the leg as you stretch. Then maybe lift the toes. Breathe. Slowly place the weight onto the left leg. Adjust the blocks if you have them. We're going to start to bring the weight onto the left leg. Push through the left leg, lift up the right. So push, lift. Nice and slow. Engage. And then maybe starting to bring fingertips up and floating. Then land it down, low lunge, lower the back knee, and tuck the toes. Wiggle the feet around, find the comfortable position for your knee. Press into the right foot, press the foot into the ground. Feel like you're trying to pull the right foot towards the right hip, and then lift up. So really pressing the left foot away from you and pulling the right foot towards you. Engaged muscles, really strong muscles. Breathe. And frame out the front foot. Press into the hands. Left foot meets right. So knees down. Send the hips back. Child's pose. Breathe. Kayla's calling for Shavasana. Bring the upper body up. Swing the feet around. You have a strap or a band. Keep it handy. We're going to come all the way down to our backs. Land on your back. Bring your knees into your chest. Take a little wiggle of the hips. Find your hips comfortable on the ground. Take the tension out of your neck. Take the band around the band, the strap, whatever you have around the right foot. Land the left foot down, knee up. Place the hips on the ground. So, not a competition to get this right leg forward and yank on your hips. We're looking to have an experience in the right leg. So find that point where you feel like the right leg is talking to you, and then rather than pushing forward, push into the strap, or if you're holding the leg, push the leg up. Push with your muscles. Get a little stronger. Push the hip into the ground. Maybe even keep your left hand there so you know your hips are grounded. Both hips are grounded. And then gently play with moving the leg. Feel the back of the leg, opening it up.
So close.
The storm is raging. You can hear it outside. Let the left knee fall open to the left, hips still grounded. Bring the right leg over to the right. So now we're starting to feel the inner thigh, and then play with the angle. Where is it that you need to be today? You can bring the foot closer or further away from the shoulder. Hips grounded. Don't let that left hip pop up. Ground the hips. Have an experience just in the inner thigh, not in the lower back. If you're feeling this in the lower back, engage the stomach and push the hips down towards the ground. That'll teach you. That's for every time you mouthed off to me.
I didn't hit myself with it. It just slipped out.
I was hoping you hit yourself with it. And then slowly bring the right leg back to center. Switch hands with the strap if you have it. And let the right arm come down and ground. Then bring the right leg across the body a little, and then feel like you're pulling that right hip back down. So you have a little bit of lengthening across the leg. Pull the hip back down. Bring that back, switch sides. Right leg down, left leg up. I have a mosquito bite right in between my toes. Find your hips grounded first. So focus on grounding the hips first. Lower back nice and soft, stomach a little engaged. Then find the back of the left leg. Breathe. Can't see the clock.
Shavasana time.
It's always Shavasana time for you.
Exactly.
You can keep this static and breathe, or take a little movement. The muscles are warm, so they move a little more freely. And try to have an internal experience. We're not looking for when the hamstrings are screaming at us, when the back of the leg is screaming. Go to the point where you feel it, and then just rest here. Breathe into it. Notice where the tension is. And then play with the foot a little. Play with the angle of the legs. See if you can find a little softening and movement within the muscles. Allow the right leg to come open. Slowly bring the left leg over to the left. Feel the inner thigh. Keep the hips grounded. Maybe play with bringing the foot a little closer, a little further from the shoulder. Find that point where your inner thigh is warm. And breathe into it. And slowly bring the left leg back to center. Switch hands if you have to strut. Ground the left hand down into the ground. Take the left leg a little bit across the body, and then feel like you're drawing the left hip back down towards the ground. Breathe into any tension in around the hip. And slowly bring that back to center. Release the bend. Bring the knees in. Take a little hug, a little rock, a little reset. Bring the feet down, knees up. Release the bend. Still have it. Make sure the hips are nice and soft. The back is nice and soft. We're going to take the hands up above the shoulders, fingertips towards the ceiling. Spread the fingers wide, and then slowly bring the hands to fists. Spread wide, slow. Notice any compensation patterns when you lifted your arms. Your arms should be engaged, but your low back should not. So really trying to soften in the body and focus just on the arms and the hands. Soften the face, checking in, having an internal experience, and then spreading the fingertips wide open, and then taking slow circles, trying to move only the hands. I'm trying to freeze the arms. Look at your hands. Notice how much, cramping. Notice how much your arms want to do the work, and then switch your circle direction. Notice if your arms are getting tired. And then bring your hands down, fingertips down towards your arms. Kind of zombie arms. Hold them here. Press the shoulders back down into the ground. And then lift the shoulders up off the ground. Bring the shoulders back down. And loosen the hands. Bring the arms down to the ground, palms up. So loosen the hands now. We just use the fingers. Try to soften the fingers. So really trying to wiggle the fingers around and find softness in the palms of your hands. See if you can find it. And then we're going to flip the palms, press the palms into the ground. Really fire up. Press the arms and the palms into the ground. So really, really pressing, pressing, pressing. Check in on the neck. Try not to let the neck do the work. Press the shoulders into the ground, hands into the ground. Fire up the hands, the arms, the shoulders, maybe even the chest. Check in on the low back. Make sure that's not doing all the work. Look at the legs. They should be soft. Press, 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 press. Press a little harder. Take a deep breath. And then with the exhale, suddenly release and flip the palms. Now see if the palms can be a little softer. Notice if they are still gripping a little. Maybe even take a look at your hands. Oftentimes I see in classes people have gripping in their hands and compensation patterns, holding patterns. They have no idea they're there. So notice your hands, maybe even look at them, see if you can get them to soften. Soften, soften, soften. Maybe even imagining you have this little soft ball of wool or a little ball of energy in each palm. And it's just kind of gently warming and sweeping away any tension in the palms of the hands. Start to soften your breath. And then from the palms of the hands, see if you can bring that softness into your wrists. Perhaps even taking time to really think about all the little teeny tiny bones stacked in the wrist. And imagine you could just put little pockets of space and fluffy softness around each bone. Loosening and softening all the wear and tear in our wrists. And then bring your awareness into your elbows. And the same thing, think about the joint. Think about placing softness and space in between all the bones. Bring your awareness to your shoulders. And then to your shoulder blades. Imagine you could make your shoulder blades a little heavier and they just kind of sink further into your back, sink into the ground. And all the muscles of the chest and the neck are just kind of softening and allowing them to sink further and further and further into the ground. Notice any softening that might happen around the chest and the neck, maybe into the jaw. And bring your awareness back to the hips. So maybe wiggling the feet a little closer, a little further away from the glutes, just noticing where your lower back might be more comfortable. Maybe take the feet a little wider than the hips and let the knees come in towards each other. See if that adjusts the lower back. Take any sways, any wiggles, any little adjustments that you need to really start to soften in the hips. Picture your pelvic bowl, this big, heavy bone or group of bones at the base of your spine. Imagine them getting heavier and heavier and sinking further and further and further into the ground. Beginning to allow all of the muscles that hold them steady to soften and release control. feel the ground below you. Let the ground carry you. Begin to release the gripping in the low back. Pick up the toes and squeeze the toes in. Squeeze the muscles of the feet. Squeeze them really, really, really tight, and then take a deep breath in, and with the exhale, suddenly release your feet to the ground. Try and allow your feet to soften, and then wiggle the feet. Take any adjustments in the feet to really let the feet begin to soften on the ground. And then for your final resting pose, you have the option to stay here, or if you prefer Shavasana, you're going to slow as you can wiggle the right foot. So slow as you can, as if you're trying not to wake a sleeping baby in the room. Wiggle that foot towards the edge of the mat and slowly allow the right leg to come down. And the same thing with the left, as slow as you can, as if you're trying not to wake a sleeping baby. And that sleeping baby is the rest of your body. You're trying not to wake it up. You're trying not to alert the muscles. Allow the leg to slowly soften to the ground. And again, connect with any little gripping or holding patterns that came back. Check in on the hips. Check in on the neck. Check in on the palms and the soles of the feet. Whoa.
Whoa. Scary.
Check in on the breath. Check in on any gripping and holding patterns in the torso and the breath. And then see if you can soften even further into the ground, allowing the ground to hold you. Softening the eyes closed if that's comfortable for you. Releasing control of even your breath. And before you go too deeply into Shavasana, I'm going to read from the Radiant Sutras. When sleep has not yet come and the sweet buzz of exhaustion permeates the body, linger in the ah of relief as your head touches the pillow. Everything in you is yearning to let go. So let go. Let your body fall into something deeper than sleep. With your mind, enter the soft, luminous glow of the soul. And I believe we're about to lose power. So I'm going to end this class, allowing you to take the time that you need to soften into your resting pose. Be sure to finish up in a normal ritual, curling up in a fetal position, and then bringing your hands to prayer as a seated position. Thank you for joining us. May we all know love, light, and connection. Very quick. We're gonna go.
Okay, we gotta go put the chickens away and make sure the power line didn't fall on Zach.
Yeah,